Come on, hop along.
Lower than I used to be.
No kidding.
Well, we're not, Harold, so I don't know where you get that. We're not slowing.
Fine with me.
I've always been.
Yeah, I saw this good-looking young man come in, and I saw a good-looking young lady come in.
They still say 2 hours later was better. I'll be in there soon.
Did you bring your co-pilot?
Well, when he passed
Dirty
away,
old
we
man,
did
did you
that.
bring your co-pilot?
We did that as quick as we could make that happen. We had some folks trying to get out of, back out of town,
A couple of years, that's probably short. Maybe not, it hasn't been that long. I mean, I am a 50-year-old woman, so.
Well, I'm a 91-year-old woman.
Just like this. Yeah.
A lot of water under the
for,
bridge.
for my age, I think.
Under the pump pipes we used to have.
What else would you like to get?
We've got plenty of fire.
It was raining, we had a place to go. Right outside the house.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure.
Hey, old man.
Hey, buddy. Nothing.
Yeah, I remember when your mom and dad
all right?
coaching basketball and she was teaching school.
I've been to school. Yeah, you know, to baseball.
Got an air booth.
Yeah.
New sports.
Mama kept on with folk music, but,
Yeah, that's the son of her, right?
This is William's granddaughter.
Shannon.
This young lady is
She's a Riggs.
I'm Jerry. Nice to meet you. Hi. I'm LJ. Hi.
she's an offspring of his.
Stop, I was just getting ready to tell the girls what stopped the racing last night, so
I told you why Meadows and Riggs had so many
busy
kids.
with it for.
When her mother was there,
She's doing real well in sports.
No, I didn't know that.
when they go to bed at night, hey, it's a girl.
Just have DJ
Sleep
text me.
or what? She's like, oh,
I've got some kind of deterioration.
It's a mini pro, Joe.
I'm fine.
You're almost hard to hear.
DJ, you want anything more?
Otherwise, she's doing great.
Still am.
Memory,
A long time ago.
some of
One
it.
of those kids, so I am. But five.
You got 5 children?
Four boys and one little redhead. So,
We're gonna try to, we'll see you guys. Are you going to the game tonight?
yes.
See you tomorrow night?
Anybody.
Sue?
I tried it. My sister.
Barry and Madge, I stopped in Batesville, I spent the night in Batesville last night. Went by and visited with Eileen for about an hour and a half. Yeah.
See you guys.
Mentally and spiritually and everything, she's doing real good, but she's got some kind of deterioration in the arteries in her right leg. And she has to wear a pain pump. And every now and then, she'll do this. Yeah. No, they said it's some kind of deterioration in her veins. I don't know.
You know, when Lyle got sick, he got sick in August and died in September.
She's been in there since I said.
Cancer of the bloodstream.
That fast, man. Well, it doesn't take long.
Eileen's had 2 or 3 back surgeries.
Oh, it's a blessing.
It's
She's also
blessing
lost.
or too quick, I agree.
She's also
My
lost her
husband
right
died
eye.
during open heart
Okay.
surgery. Fast.
Really?
But she's in a real good spirit.
Well, when I went,
know almost every picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
Denzel.
Denzel Edwards? Yeah. Denzel, Tommy. Denzel died,
Oh,
how long ago, Sue? 15 years?
Yeah.
I think he was at the 2000, sometime
Back,
right
David
after
Anderson.
the 2000.
Okay,
reunion.
Chapel Road.
What year was that we had the one in Jonesboro?
No.
First one, really?
No, it's the second.
Second one was in 1990.
Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night. I gotta get out.
you're welcome to stay.
No, we gotta get ready. We're having a family reunion tonight.
And honestly, I'm 20.
Daddy will be there, Diane Calvin,
Remember me, Joyce?
Mom,
And
Dale,
Joyce,
Sparks.
yes, yes.
Sue, is she 98, Miss Joyce?
Should be 99 and
Oh, my heavens, that's it. Can't keep going.
and just as a word,
They said she wasn't gonna be able to come.
no, she's not able to. And her son is in something bad going on.
every time you wrote me, it was fine.
They haven't diagnosed it.
Where does she live?
Yeah.
Where does she live?
Hey, one up
No,
there.
she lives with him.
In Bowden, Raven Springs.
In Bowden?
All of them.
Really?
He made 44 points.
My mother
I'm
just
sorry.
3.2.
she was just under 100.
Internet.
The
She was
Wi-Fi,
just
yeah.
alert.
Yeah.
She could remember everything in the world you want to know about Caraway.
You still live in Colchester?
Everything.
Still live in
She
Colchester?
could hear good and see
You gonna
good.
make it there?
Where you live?
Huh?
Planning on making it?
Right now.
Me? I doubt it.
I've been, I'm thinking about it, I have, my dad had two sisters and two brothers that lived to the late 90s, 96, 97. And I'm hoping that I got that gene.
My dad was 90.
I enjoyed
Alzheimer's.
it.
And my brother Junior was 3 years older than me.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
He's only 82, I think. He just died in 12.
Shirley, you ready?
But I haven't had any sign.
So far, I hope it stays that way. You'll be in Jonesboro tomorrow?
I know, that's what I was thinking.
And you're traveling with this lady over here.
No, this one.
Yes.
Her name is Shannon, Harold.
She needs a lot of help.
Well, is Lefty?
Keep talking, Harold. It's easy to knock you down with that cane.
Well, if she was gonna go to
Shannon,
Monday, I
your
figured.
grandmother was our star basketball player on the women's basketball team back in the day.
That's
And her brother was on the boys.
Yeah, but
And he coached,
Oh, the Wi-Fi. is on.
Tom Junior coached,
But,
didn't
the code's in that office and it's locked up.
Oh, okay.
he taught
It's through it, it's through
Oh.
Ritter.
his first year out of college. He taught, what did he teach? Social studies or some such thing. Remember, he knocked one of the students
It's
down.
on the back of the motor.
You can't do that, apparently.
Maybe back there, but not now.
He got in a lot of trouble over it, but I don't think he lost his job over it or anything.
Your dad coached basketball. I played basketball for your dad.
Yeah, and he liked basketball. He wasn't too bad at it.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh,
Lot of
I've
trouble.
got this picture on my mantle. So anybody who says, I remember you, see how tall I was?
Yep.
Yeah, you
Lefty
know it.
Whitaker was the only girl in school taller than I.
She's
Really?
here
Nice
today.
to see you
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Lefty, she's aged real well too. I mean, the last time I saw her.
Okay.
That's good.
Bonnie.
Okay.
Is that Junior Baldwin?
Harold, you
You
wanna
can't
sit
get it
down
off
here
that.
and visit, point out those pictures?
I believe it was after
Was it after 5?
Faye. I could be wrong on that,
Well,
Madge.
I don't know either. I know that both of them died soon after
They
graduation.
weren't too far apart.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. And Jim, Faye Carr was in 53. And, I don't remember Jim.
They was killed in 53.
Yeah.
Was she? Okay. Gerald, I'm not sure. They were not very far apart.
No.
But I think he was in the 60s. I think.
Could be. I'm pretty sure she was the first one
Yeah.
that passed away. And Gerald Montgomery and Cleveland wasn't too far behind them.
Well, we had our first, he was at our first class.
He was at the first one.
That's 86. So,
He was 86. I can't remember if he was at the second one or not.
No, he wasn't.
I just remember him doing it the first one.
Well, I can tell you just about, he was 57 when he died, man. He's a year older than me, would make him 82. Now, so that's 23, that's 25 years ago. About 90, so I don't think he made the second one.
Free shot.
Are you in here?
Lefty, I tried to call Loretta,
legs
and
long,
that phone number that they gave me won't work. Did you
All
talk
right.
to her? Loretta Burrough?
Yeah.
They're not coming. No, Italy, Italy, and she told me that they wouldn't be able to come.
Does he have a new
One of them, she said one of them's bad health, and she gave me a phone number, and I tried to dial it, and every time I dial it, it says something about no service in that area or something or other.
Yeah, that's the thing I got.
And, so I don't know which one of them, whether it's her or him, that's in the worst shape.
Right at her dad.
She's had a stroke or two, you know.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had a stroke before that last week. She was doing real good. I mean, she didn't have any paralysis or anything.
So it didn't leave no permanent.
Didn't leave any permanent damage to her, but she had had a stroke. Loretta just 2 months, I think it's 2 months younger than me.
I knew she was young.
I was the youngest one in the class until our senior year, and she graduated 3 years. Me and old Lefty there, we was the smart ones, Madge. We skipped 2 grades. We made 2 grades 1 year.
How'd you do that?
Well, they promoted us from the 4th to the 5th to the 6th, all in the same year.
Well, y'all were really smart.
Oh, yeah, we was smart.
They could probably
Oh,
read.
big boy Knuckles.
It's a shame they forgot how.
Yeah, Big Boy Knuckles, yeah, it was right in Caraway grade school down there, where it happened. I think,
I thought he was the ugliest man that I ever saw.
I don't, it wasn't, he
When I was
didn't teach
grade
these
school.
2 years.
well, he wasn't a real handsome guy, Big Boy Knuckles.
He was a big
Wow.
guy.
Yeah, he's the meanest turkey.
That's not her class.
He had his bluff on everybody, at least.
He knew
Everybody's,
it was big enough.
everybody's afraid to mess with him.
But
She didn't
I
have
think
to.
my man got you acquainted with him. And that's got promoted.
I think when Nanez, our 4th grade, when Nanez Bylin, our 4th grade teacher, then we got passed to the 5th. And Big Boy was 5th grade, and then we went on to the 6th the next year.
Y'all really climbed in a hurry.
Well, it was 2 girls and 2 boys. Darjean Miller, Catherine Sue Manger, and Lefty and myself. And we were always, one of us was always winning all the spelling contests or the reading contest or math or whatever. By the time I got to the 7th grade, everything changed. I don't know exactly what happened.
They say that's the worst grade of all.
You got somebody to drive you around, Harold?
Such a good one
Yep.
lady there, Madge.
Good.
Yeah, good one.
Because I get 2
Just went
kids
me off. I guess they
that
should have knocked
think
that off.
2 hours late.
Goodman, is that her name, that runs this place?
I understand. That's the way I think.
Bobby Goodman. Bobby Goodman and Gene
No,
Goodman.
I pretty well try to get places up there. I'm always making, sometimes you just can't move fast.
And it really looks nice in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
After that tornado, you know, they got damage, so they got to redo it.
I can imagine.
Thank you.
You can imagine.
She's leaving, I'm gonna keep her, she's gone.
Actually, my customer that I saw 10 years after I quit, and he said, I haven't seen you real since you quit. And that was 10 years later.
Oh, my gosh. But you see, you were on top of things. A lot of difference in getting things done if you're on top of things.
49. I have not been that big. I don't know what year you graduated.
Who?
Vernon?
Well, somebody's got to eat.
Oh, all right, is it time to eat?
Well, there's.
What do you want on your
plate?
The coats are coming
Of
back.
everything.
Okay.
He might have been 49, I don't remember either, man. She seemed me like he was before that, but
Just gonna have everything.
he said, what is he, about 84?
He'll be 87.
87. He's probably 46, 47 maybe.
Chicken salad.
There's only one registered to come to the alumni banquet in the 40s, and that's Betty
Yes, but they're
Riggs.
not too bad.
Betty Crawford Riggs.
I ate a little bit.
Yeah.
That's Francis Street right there.
Yeah.
That filling is really good.
Never will forget Miss Fraser. They talked, gave her a bad name.
She and Big Boy would have made a good looking couple, wouldn't it? That's that mean.
They tell me that Big Boy made the highest grade in Craighead County when he was conducted in the service.
Really?
Yeah,
That didn't surprise me. All them knuckles are smart. You know, Cleveland's smart as we are.
yeah, he was, but he was odd, let me tell you.
Yeah, Cleveland, he was smart. He never picked up something off in school, made A's off it.
What I do?
I know it was right there.
Well, I looked for this though. Oh,
That's related.
Chicken fried.
Chicken cooked in the oven. Fried those beans, those white beans. I never cooked them. Tasted that good.
No.
Tried everything.
I couldn't think of peach cobbler like that. You'll be about where she could cook what they cook.
She wouldn't if she's out there now. She wouldn't if she's out there now.
She wouldn't.
They wouldn't let you. They don't let you.
They don't let you know.
Oh, you have to cook what they,
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got their own menu
Yeah.
and their own recipes.
That was the thing that I remember, was a big recipe book.
But what?
Big recipe book,
Oh,
kitchen.
well, I know they did some good cooking in there.
All right, well, I'll see y'all.
Y'all girls are healthy, we're still here. I only lived in Caraway 3 years. And that made quite a impression on me. I never, not too long ago, my husband was out here. That last year. So, this was my starting point.
You remember Coach Thomas, don't you?
Yeah.
He and married Myrtle Taylor, they're both on.
Well, he was so good.
He was, and she's attractive lady. You didn't know she died?
I knew she was a nurse mom, I knew she was out there. In city, but I just thought the boys took her out over there.
Well, I heard they did take her Bible, now, I could be wrong, but I was
I didn't know that. I should probably. Come on, will you put 2 more in here?
Squeeze me in.
Look at you drop stuff.
going.
I gotta leave pretty soon, go over and check. If those flowers are sitting over in the front. That part's not cool.
This is really a nice place.
It really is.
Attractive. That's not fly everybody.
Yes. Your fire officials, I would advise you to.
Do you tame it?
Well, what happened to Faye, I just talked to her Monday night, and she had every intention of being here.
She had enough of y'all at once.
All right, what's that smart
All
comment?
right. Well, your granddaughter's got a sense of humor, but
Yeah.
now there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it does. Probably kept her going.
We need something to keep us going.
A car.
Car.
That's the best thing to think of. I had a different idea, but I kept that in my head.
You learn all that stuff at LSU down there.
Yeah, I think something, okay.
Well, they've got a,
Who is this?
Hi, come on down.
I come to crash party.
Come on.
that's my cousin Shirley.
Yeah, you're mighty young to be coming in
And
here.
her cousin Floyd. Her cousin Floyd.
How are ya?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, good.
You looking good.
Well, thank you.
You look better than he does.
Oh, now.
I'm doing good, Floyd. How y'all get something to eat?
Oh, we're heading past.
Oh, you going over there already?
Come out here.
Okay, well,
Say hey.
I'll finish up here.
I'm good. I don't think Joe doesn't have anything done with
He's eating again. Apparently he's going to barbecue in a little bit.
that. Oh, okay.
So he's gotta,
He gotta say some things.
yeah, exactly. He's gotta be polite both places.
Yeah.
These are all my classmates.
Ah, who is it?
I'm Floyd Douglas.
Oh,
Shirley Hollis.
Floyd, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Shirley Hollis is my
Shirley
cousin.
Hollis.
it's my cousin.
Y'all probably weren't born when we graduated.
Probably
I
not.
remember Floyd. And I
Shirley
remember
wasn't for sure. I don't know about Floyd, but I'm
I'm
pretty
born
sure he wasn't
52.
either. 62?
52.
52.
Oh,
That's the
you
year
weren't
after we
born.
graduated.
You're out here.
You wasn't born yet. You might have done a twinkle, but your dad's out.
Not even a
Not
twinkle.
even
But I knew the Douglases.
Ah. Did you look
There's
like?
so many of us, so.
Oh, well, no.
9 boys.
Really?
Well, there's 13 of us, so you didn't,
Are you
you didn't even get the race.
A couple of the Riggs boys just left.
Linda Douglas?
10 of them.
Leroy's
Oh,
former
goodness,
wife.
yeah.
Yeah, Leroy's my brother.
He's your brother, okay.
Yeah.
I knew there's other boys, but I didn't know you were younger. Ain't just a little guy.
Yeah, he's a lot younger than me. Clean that up, I like it.
We'd be glad for you to eat with us.
I appreciate that. Looks like you got plenty to eat too. My sister's having the Hollis get together kind of sort of, so Mr. Joe's gonna come down there and join us here in a little bit. So don't eat too much.
Pat, you know Pat. Y'all know Pat, don't you?
Pat.
Pat Barrett.
Barrett.
Be Pat Hollis. Barrett.
It's my sister.
Lived in Baldridge. Baldridge.
Oh,
house.
Baldridge home.
Uh-huh.
What's your name, Hollis?
They fixed it up though.
Yes.
It's
That's
nice
where I
now.
told you my first Coke and Crown was at the Baldridge house.
Well, I told this story one time.
Uh-oh.
Well, then,
Boy.
risk of repeating myself, I'm gonna tell it again.
All right.
The first indoor toilet I ever saw
That's your Douglas.
was in the Baldridge house over there. And I told him, I said, I saw it, I said, I looked at it, but I said, but I didn't use it.
You probably wouldn't have done that.
But that's a true story. That was the first one I'd ever seen.
Well, you know, my granny got mad when my grandpa put the bathroom in their house. She wouldn't use it. She went to the toilet outside.
Oh.
She would not use it.
Didn't want to get
Until she got
automatic.
sick, and that was several years later, then she started using
Aunt
it.
Bell, do any of y'all remember Aunt Bell? No, we don't remember Aunt Bell.
I remember Aunt Bell, she was a catch.
You're gonna be a stand-up comedian, I believe.
She goes down and she is, no wonder she's, it's the way she is. Luann, his sister out, her mom and dad were school teachers. Yeah, he was a basketball.
You have any sisters or brothers?
No brother.
You give him hard
Feel
time.
sorry for him.
What do you think about it?
But he's bigger than she is.
Oh.
He's 16, but he's about 6'4".
Oh.
And he's
He just hit her on top of the head and drive her through the floor.
yeah. He probably would be.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go on.
All right,
and
I'll be over a
see
little bit.
All
Okay.
right, nice to meet everybody and see you again.
Nice to see you young people.
We like being called young things.
Enjoy it.
63 is not old.
Well, add 20 to that, you got most of us.
Yes.
They've already got their Christmas tree up. It's been up since last Christmas, hasn't it?
It's been up for several years.
It's 4th of July, so.
Yeah, I see the
We just
flags
changed
on
the,
it.
just changed the.
Tree's hanging up.
Veterans Day, the first day.
Decoration.
That was my
That's a good
tree,
idea.
and it is the hardest tree to put up in Texas.
So we shut that.
So I gave it to the center and they just put it up in Lexington.
Good idea.
It's turned out to be a good thing.
One time, putting it up was enough for them.
Well, it's a
It
good
is a large
idea.
tree.
Change the seasons and it looks good.
It does, it's really good.
Did you have Myra in school?
Didn't get it clean. And thank you.
I was,
She's about 10 years older than Shirley, I think Myra's 72. She's a half-sister to Shirley and Pat, and Everett and Bobby and all that bunch. Okay. Myra's mother died when she was born. Her dad had 7 kids. Shirley got 6 brothers and sisters.
How many grandchildren do you have, Sue?
well, grandchildren, I have 5. Great-grandchildren, I have 29.
My goodness.
29.
Very surprised.
That's pretty wild. How about you, Mary?
They just made me think for this. Got 8 grandkids, 11
Great.
great,
You got some great greats?
yes, no. I got 4 kids, 8 grandkids, and 11 great. I got 3 great grandkids. It's September, October, November.
Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
And they've been to my house once. Because one lives in Massachusetts, one lives in Florida, and the other one lives here. So we don't get together very often.
I know what you mean. Lisa lives in Connecticut. I've got 5 grandchildren, no great-grandchildren. So I don't have no great-greats either.
No great greats. You got grandchildren?
I got 9 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. I had 4
Four of
children.
your own.
4 of my own, and my youngest boy was killed in 1988 when he was 25 years old, but he had 2 daughters, so I got 2 granddaughters by him.
Oh.
And, they've each got 3 kids apiece. And I've got 4 more great-grandchildren besides those.
Don't look at me, you know mine.
This is one of 14 grands. I had 5 children. So they were busy. It was the remote control of the TV, I think that was the problem. I got them all on TV, but they, you know,
Switch.
they didn't have to get up and tend to it, so they just produced 14 grandchildren for me. And I have 7 greats. I have a set of twins in there. My son Tommy. has
Mine told me that I won't have any grandchildren.
But you won't.
Where'd she go?
Why?
We ran her off.
She had enough
My
of y'all
sister.
too.
She went?
She ran. She's
Yeah.
with Belinda. They went to go see her parents.
Went to the
gravesite.
cemetery.
Yeah, they got some
Doris
flowers
Caraway.
to the cemetery. Yeah.
Now, who's Belinda?
That's Doris's daughter. Doris Miller.
Oh, Doris Miller Hicks. Daughter. Oh, okay.
Somebody stopped him outside, Joe.
Talking somewhere.
They got white hair, whoever it is.
Kids had a hard time. Shirley and her brother and sister.
Yeah, they did, growing up.
Their dad died when they were all real young.
Did they live on the farm or here in town? I don't remember.
I believe they lived in town.
Who, the Douglases? Oh,
The house.
I thought they lived on, close to Middleton Ridge.
No,
That was
Edward
after
Jr.
Bobby grew up.
Oh, okay.
Edward Jr. lived out by Milligan Ridge, I know that.
roll's too hot for you.
I get close to
The
it.
last time I knew, Uncle Everett, he lived just across the railroad tracks
Well, they're not too hot.
over there by the Pentecostal
You
church.
didn't expect it, though.
Well, I ain't very good.
It's not as hot as in the
I mean,
I thought jalapeno was really hot.
she took the seeds out and.
took the seed and the ribs.
Ribs.
Oh, and that's
inside.
what's hot?
Yeah,
Oh,
especially the seeds. And if you, they say you can drop them in
And-
boiling water too to take the heat out.
And when you cook them.
But I don't know if you have the same taste.
take some of the,
it takes
Meat's
longer.
good.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say. The meat was good.
yeah.
You enjoyed it, huh? This girl can take, she can take it. She drove me all the way from Mansfield, almost all the way up here. And I am a terrible backseat driver. No, slow down. There's a curve up there, look out. There's a truck coming.
Hong Kong.
But she did a good job.
I have to keep my mouth shut when I'm riding on my daughter. They took me to Missouri to go to Jonesboro.
Oh, I know.
I tried to tell them,
Took you to Missouri to get to Jonesboro then?
yeah.
Well, you ought to get you a backseat driver's license.
I tried to tell them, it's a shortcut, you know, but they had them out.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, when you get off the Interstate 40 over there at Conway, and come from there across through Batesville and Jonesboro, you change highways about 16 times. Yeah, I started off on 64 and then got on 167 and 67 and got into Batesville, but then when you leave Batesville, you get on
Oh,
69
why did you go to
and 67.
Why'd you go to
and-
Batesville?
18, well, I went over to see Eileen, that's where
Oh,
I spent the
okay.
night. When you leave Batesville, it's when
Oh,
you
wow.
really run into it,
That's
you get on
great.
some little
Yeah.
Highway 18 and
that's good.
all that stuff.
I told her to drop by and she said, well, she just drop in. She didn't know.
Come on down.
She looked like she's all right. She didn't
I've
look like
already
she fell.
seen 4.
Yeah, we saw you out there talking to Shirley Hollis and her husband.
Yeah, and then Gail Riggs and Bob.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, no, I'm not Cliffy.
You're not Cliffy.
But a lot of people call me
Well,
Cliffy.
you look like Cliffy.
A lot of people call me Cliffy.
It's the hair.
It's
Yeah,
Grace Steinkamp. Used to
Grace
work at the
Stein-
drugstore.
For years and years.
Years and years. I worked at the drugstore too.
What, Landis?
Yeah.
Okay, and you are?
Joe Hollis.
Joe Hollis. Oh, you real well.
Is Steinkamp your maiden name?
Yes, it is. I married Bill Wall.
Oh, well, I know Bill.
Yeah.
So I knew Bill.
Yeah.
Pankin,
Yeah.
Nell. and
Yeah. And Nell, back when you was going to school, Nell was working there, I'm sure.
Nell was working there. I was working there. Bonzi Jennings was working there. And Bobby Carr,
Yeah. Hewlin Holloway.
Keelan Holloway.
Barry Holloway.
I thought they were both worked there then.
Yeah.
Speaking of
But
Fonda
you worked the
Jennings.
longest.
Huh?
You worked the longest.
Yeah, I did. I worked the longest, I sure did. They've got the old fountain, they've got it in Merritt Emery's general store. Right down the street here.
I'm Harold Burrough.
Yeah, Harold, I remember you.
How can anybody forget Harold?
Yeah, I remember you, I sure do. Yes, I worked the longest, you're right about that.
Tucson, Arizona.
Will
She won't
Ann's
talk
proud.
to
I know
anybody.
Will Ann, you know I'm Grace. We
Yeah,
had,
she's
we,
a real
we had
bad
mutual
girl.
relations.
Right.
True.
True, you're, but you
I'm
didn't do
sorry
that
to hear that.
photograph much, I forgot about that. I bet you're into that photograph.
Yes,
But
yes, I am. Yeah, I was hoping I'd get to see you here, but I thought milling around tomorrow, you never know who all you're gonna
This
see.
is true, this is true.
This is your granddaughter, isn't it?
That's Shannon,
Hey, how are you?
sister, one of my girl grandchildren, one of my seven, I have 7 girls and 7 boys.
7 girls and 7 boys.
Oh,
But she's loose right now, she's my loose one, she could do the driving, she's
Yeah.
out of class.
No,
Oh,
no.
she's going to college.
yeah.
Now,
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
how about Laura?
Really, she looked just like
She didn't want to make the trip, she
Her dad and me.
doesn't go anywhere anymore. I'm
I was telling
6
Willie
years
earlier,
older.
we had our first reunion,
Right.
class of '86.
Well, you know what?
My mother came in just
Do
a
you
little bit
remember
late.
Yeah.
the actress
Walked
Billy
up to the
Burke?
front door and
Yes,
slipped
I
all
did.
around.
You know what she said?
What?
Age didn't make any difference unless she's a piece of cheese.
Well, I feel that way, and I can't
She was
understand why.
always kind of a character in
Yeah,
here.
she was. To me, life is
And
just
she sounds like.
full of surprises.
Oh, yeah.
Good ones and the sordid ones, the bad ones. But it's still going on.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I enjoy all of it. I enjoy myself and my friends and my activities and Harold. I do.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to sit down and pick up the newspaper and prop up my feet. She just doesn't have any interest in getting out and doing anything.
I can remember you in high school. I went out here 10th grade, and I can remember you real well.
You're younger.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
She had
I graduated in 51.
Well, I graduated 52.
And Laura.
I played basketball with Geneva, probably you too.
No,
Did you play?
I got to tell you this. I was not athletic, and I tried, and your daddy told me this, and he said, Gracie said, I don't believe you learned to play ball if you live to be 100.
Sounds like my daddy. He told it like he saw it.
He told it like so.
He had to
And
be
he was-
right, but
Well, he was right about that. He was right about that. He was right about that.
well, I enjoyed Caraway. I
Bad.
really did.
Bad food. I know she had some junk.
Everybody
You know,
else
she had
had it.
TB.
It was the most.
She was,
When she was a child.
when she was a
Even
child,
then,
she stayed in the room by herself over here.
Yeah.
We didn't have a snob group.
Where Jones and Mildred Pace, and then Jones Pace was her uncle, her mother's brother.
Everybody picked cotton
Oh,
chocolate.
I remember
oh,
we used to walk to school,
and
we'd
we
go by
did it
that house
together,
all
and
the
it
time,
was
we'd
just,
talk about this girl.
there wasn't any,
Has to stay in a room by herself.
well, the peers were, we all were the peers,
Well,
everybody
well,
was.
they do, but I don't know why you didn't stand by her on
Such an
TV.
experience, I wish my children could
But
have.
I heard that.
Now, Billy and Madonna, they keep in touch real close, you know.
Well, we're staying at Madonna's.
Yeah, but I mean, they're closer to the same age. You know, Mama had Billy when, just a little after Tyssie had his first time with her niece, but they're
Yeah,
like
come back
first
and
cousin.
Working at the
Yeah,
drugstore.
it's kind of look.
Well, Harold, how's life been treating you?
Before it started coming
Had a
together.
fantastic
They go back
career.
to old
Grace,
Great.
when, talking about Nell was moved to Memphis, and she married a policeman down there. Ken.
Yeah, Ken Armstead.
Ken Armstead, lives in Armstead. Well, I went to Memphis and I married in Memphis. And Ken Armstead and Nell and Faye Powell and her husband Jerry and Jean Stark and her husband Jamie, we used to all get together on Saturday night and have a penny and poker game. And then every now and then we'd go out to the hi-hat and go dancing. Of course, none of us know how to dance, but we went anyhow.
Watch the others then.
Couldn't dance in Caraway, that's against the law.
Right, they like to figure it out. Go out direct to the hell.
Jean Stark.
Jean Stark,
Is she dead?
yes, she died, I want to say maybe now 10 years ago, but Jean, nobody really knows what happened with her. She was doing just fine. Her husband worked for the telephone company, Jamie, I knew him real well. He's a super nice guy, super guy. And he came from up around Bolivar somewhere. And so he went, got transferred to Bolivar by the telephone company. And they moved up to Bolivar, and that's where the mental institution is in Tennessee. And the story is what they think happened. Jean never was the same after that. She just kind of mental. And
You know, Betty.
there's a story.
Her sister, Betty.
Well, their mother, see, that's what they think Junior Jean was, because their mother was in an institution. And they think when they moved up there around that institution, that kind of triggered Jean. Because
I never did know what happened.
she never was right after that.
Well, now, Wanda Scoggins, wasn't she kind of in y'all's group too?
Wanda Faye Scroggins was a little bit older than me.
Well, you know, everybody melts together once they got out of high school. To me, they all melted together, you know, so it's kind of hard to keep track of who, you know. And
She's a good waiter.
She wasn't with us in Memphis, so I don't know about Nell.
Well, Faye, how about her?
Well, I thought she's gonna be here today. Faye's still great.
And how about her sister?
Imogene, she's doing
Well, not a
real
lot.
good, except she's legally blind.
And I said, you can
She can see
make
light,
a lot
she
bigger
can see
cake,
just a
you know,
little bit,
but
but
she
she can't go anywhere by herself.
Well, I can sympathize. Now, I can still go places, and I could drive to Jonesboro if I had to, but I don't, because I have macular degeneration. But I can see far enough ahead, but they tease me, like at the dollar store, because I have to get something up and read it, and they say, and you're driving, you know? But I can see out there, and I can see y'all.
That's
May
what
have to
he
be a
did,
little closer.
and he wouldn't even do
Did
that.
when he checked on the
Would you
flowers
send out and
there,
go like that?
No.
And he'd have it.
I called Donna,
Oh, I could
text her,
how you do that.
and Brock's not gonna get to come
I never
here.
thought about that in a long time, but I know.
She didn't think so.
Well, I called after a while.
Oh, wait, it's that back
Well, I
door.
thought I'd drive by there and
See,
see if they
right
had
behind the
delivered.
back door,
Donna said do that.
we got this
because,
huge
She didn't think it could come.
garbage thing.
Lake City.
The what?
And there's Florida.
No, Leachville, Manila.
Legal, we have a real, she's really a good
And
homemade
homemade Lepanto, they have one.
I need to put some flowers on my
Well-
mom, dad, and granddad, and my brother's
Uh,
graves out here.
Are they all at Caraway?
They're all right together.
I remember when your
We got
brother,
one stone, pretty good sized stone's got all their,
all of them are.
on there.
You know, you called me Cliffy a while ago,
She
This
did.
is my last.
Yeah, I said,
but Marie Dallas, this has happened a lot,
My
But
last.
Marie Dallas, this was a few years ago, was sitting at a table in my Burger King, and another girl and I was sitting at this other table. And so Marie, when she left, she come by the table and she was talking to all of us, and she was talking to me, and everything she said, I was able to, you know, we held a conversation. Finally, she said, how's, what's your daughter's name? Lisa. She said, how's Lisa doing? I said, well, I guess okay, but Marie, I said, who do you think I am? And she said, Cliffy. And I said, no, I'm Ray Steinkamp. And she knows me. She saw me all the time, you know. And then Rip Smith, one day he was going into the Tasty Freeze, and I was coming out. And he said, hey, he said, how's George doing? I said, he's just doing fine. You know, and we just both kept walking.
Just act like he's sleepy, I might as well.
And
Might as well.
Grace,
Might as well just go with it, Grace.
I do want something to drink. I don't want
Well,
anything. to
Marie's
eat.
not living, is she?
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah,
is.
she is.
Oh, she's gotta be 90.
Where's your drinks? And I'll just get
Right up there on that table.
We're gonna say that about you one day.
Remember her, William?
Wait a minute, give me a little more information.
Marie Dallas. She was a Moxley. You remember Bobby Jean Moxley?
Yes, I
His
do.
sister.
Okay,
Older.
now I know, and
She
she's still
gotta be.
around.
She gotta be around 90.
Yeah.
Don't ask her.
That's what I was gonna say. 90
She
or
won't
90
know.
plus.
She broke her,
She never
her
goes over.
arm and her leg, I
She-
think.
But she's not
I
gonna
saw her
tell
last
them.
4th of July, and she was in a wheelchair, and she's,
I'm gonna
you
get
know,
me a
she's
piece of
talking
cake.
great, doing great, she is.
Last time I saw her was before Miss Moxley died, and when Miss Moxley lived right here in the Turner house.
Yeah.
I'll get this for Joe, cause they don't want any more.
No, I don't. I've gotta eat at 3 or 4 different places.
So you're gonna be full tonight, sure enough then.
Yeah, I'm coming back down here Sunday. The class, I can't remember what class it is, but Carleen Brooks is in it, and I run into her.
That's Saturday.
Well, Saturday. Hey, since I don't work anymore, I don't know what day it is. And,
Just run one day running
and
through.
she said they were gonna go down there and have their picture made, and she wanted me to come down and visit with them and go down there. I said, well, you know that I've got to get behind them. Y'all gotta be in front, and I gotta be behind them.
Well, William,
Yes.
how long has Roy been gone?
88.
88,
Died in 88. After his second open heart.
27 years ago. He was just young, wasn't he?
61.
61.
Yeah. He'd had the business going, but he did it.
88. So Shannon you never knew him, did you?
No,
Grace, there's a lot of food over there if you need something.
he only saw 4.
I guess
Well, all
better
right,
piece
if
that
he
ain't
says I
okay.
will
Just
just
a
go
little bitty
back.
piece.
Those little boogers are good.
Mm-hmm. Who did this?
Kim Morgan.
Did she? Well, what kind of, nice of her.
She did those, peppers too.
And the
Did she?
snickerdoodle soup.
Well, you tell her we appreciate that very much.
That's why me and Sue look like we do. She brings things all the time. She works at
Does she? She helps to cook.
They got hard to turn them down. She don't do so good. Yeah, she told me, said, you need to start coming down here now, because everybody here is the same shape you are. And I will when I get my, it just seems like every day there's different things I've got to do, and
You'll wait too late.
I hope not. Grace, I just quit last year, been nursing. I was still working in the nursing homes. What I would do is relieve the DONs when they were on vacation, or had to go to a meeting or something, and they had to have an RN in the building. So I did that for the longest time. And this year is the first year that did not renew my license.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't quit, they fired me.
Well, they did. Oh, Faye, the nerve. Who do you want killed? I know Guido and a few others.
How old was you, Grace, when they had you to quit?
70, well, I was going on 76.
76, I know.
Well, it's your age, and you get blind, you can't see what you're doing. They wanted me to quit, and they wanted me to retire, and I said, no. And they wanted me to quit, and I said, no, just do what you gotta do. And they said, well, you don't want that. I said, at 75, who cares? Yeah, you don't need it on your resume, do you? Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about that, you know. But I always laugh. I got fired at the very first job ever, not cotton chopping. I mean, you can stay in cotton factory.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a little waitress job. Well, the people that run it, they really didn't know how to manage, and they let me behind the counter at the cash register. Well, I was dumb enough that if somebody gave me a $1 bill and they owed me 50 cents, I rang up $1. Well, I worked 3 weekends, and they called me in there, and the woman that had hired me, she's laying on the bed with a coal rag on her head. I guess she was wanting me to confess. I didn't know what to confess. You know, and she said, we're gonna have to let you go. And I said, and she said, we just don't know where that money's going. I thought, well, I don't know
where your money's going, you know. I did get tips, but I
Oh,
put them in the
bless your
jar, just
heart.
like, but I mean, it took me 2 weeks to figure out after I got fired, that they thought, well, of course.
It looked that way.
It looked that way. Well, you put $1 in and you give, or
Give
the
them
other
50
one.
cents back.
Yeah. But anyway, got another job then at a restaurant and worked there about 2 or 3 months. And I heard one of them say to the other one, they were established. They knew what they was doing. And she said, I don't know what happened to her at that other place. She said she's working out all right here. And in fact, they offered me a job at $35 a week and tips. But she said, I heard y'all were moving. I said, we are. She said, well, you can have this job, but if you're moving, I'm going to have somebody, you know. And that was reasonable, you know. And we moved here on the 20th of March, 24th of March, went to work at the drugstore.
What year was that?
55.
55? What year did you start working at the bank?
77. I walked out of the drugstore on Saturday and started working back on Monday. Ruth had already asked me about it, and then, you know, after they had the fire, or it was so much smoke damage, it didn't really ruin anything other than smoke. The lights didn't even go out. And we worked in the store to clean it up, and we started, you know, sandwiches and stuff. And that was like in February. Well, I had scads of candy already sold. You know, scads of it, you know, stacked back there. Of course, it was all ruined. We had to give the money back to the people and all. And, but anyway, the shelves was all empty, and Ruth, I didn't know what was going to happen. And Ruth asked me one day, and that was in the 1st of March. She said, "You want to go to work at the bank?" And I said, "Well, I got to work somewhere, you know." And so I never told anybody. It was just, I didn't even tell Mama.
Well, just went to work, huh?
I told her I was going to work at the bank on Sunday. I told her I was going to work at the bank on Monday. And the suit, the outfit I wore the first day at my job, Mama had bought me for Christmas from Sue. And you had the clothes there. It was a green printed blouse and a green top and pants to match. And that's what I wore my first day to work.
Where was you working, Sue?
She had a dress shop in her house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just a very minute.
Oh, she had a lot of pretty clothes though. Because Mama went down there, I think, first, and she said...
Good prices too.
Yeah. And she went down there and she said, you go down and pick out what you want, and that'll be your Christmas present.
That was a good way to do it, wasn't it?
But, and they didn't want me at the bank, really, you know. There I was, old as I was and everything. But Ruth said, I never asked you for nothing. She said, but I went to a good place to work.
Well, maybe that's how I got on there. I was older than you. I went to work there.
But Donald Kirsty told me later, he said, I didn't know about you first coming to work here, but he said, you working there all right.
His picture's over in one of those annuals.
Oh,
My dad used to run that bank.
Don't talk so much.
I was thinking
We
about
called down, so it,
first time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, it wasn't called again. I don't know what it's
First
called.
last reunion,
Probably
State
going there.
Bank then?
and
It was
Gallup
State Bank.
come,
I thought
Gallup
it was
morning.
State Bank.
You know, Captain Sue Manger's dad.
I'm
was
still
not
Manger,
speaking to you.
was manager there, and then, what Lynn?
She enjoyed that so
What's her
much.
maiden name?
Yeah,
Miller.
I'm like,
Miller. He was manager there.
You didn't need it.
My dad came on.
You know, Thurman worked at the bank too.
Thurman Miller. There's
First time.
Thurman, Betty's dad? Okay.
Really good.
Boris Miller, that's Sonny's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never worked. Thurman.
I don't know what this is, it's good, but it is.
Well, I didn't know Sue had a dress shop. I got it.
I didn't either.
My grandmother used to have a
Very
dress shop
short.
here. You remember that? Remember where my grandmother's first dress shop was?
Where was it?
Just this side of that drugstore,
Well, she had one there too.
the little
For
store.
a short time.
Mrs.
We went
Spurlock
back
had a
Caraway.
shop here too. She was a superintendent's wife. I bought my first coat that I bought myself with my cotton picking money. And that's what it was, my cotton picking money.
That's what, that's where we had our money, did
She let me pay so much down and so much week. In fact, I think it took all of my cotton picking money to buy that coat. I couldn't pick 100 today. I think the 70s were by limit.
Really?
Around 70 pounds. I
That's
couldn't.
not very much.
No, it's not, but I wasn't born in cotton patch like you.
Wasn't much you could pick.
You know, I picked some cotton last year.
But a lot of people pick.
Did you really?
Yeah.
One time I did, but I usually pick around.
What for? Just to say
Just
you
for the
could.
heck of it.
Just to say you could.
Just for old time's sake. I was out on the oil well and it was surrounded by cotton fields.
Oh, I'm telling
I said,
you.
I'm
Oh, look at
just
those
gonna
things.
pick some cotton, so I just parked my pickup truck, got out, and got between two rows and went down there about maybe 15 feet.
Oh, my goodness.
Took it all home and gave it to the kids.
Mine did not know what work was. They still don't know.
I didn't know it either.
I never liked the chopped cotton, but I like the big cotton. I just like the atmosphere.
Yes.
I didn't like those worms go out there more than that cold little stinging worms. Yeah, I hated those worms.
I don't remember any stinging worms, but I remember chopping down a whole bunch of cotton one time. The first time I chopped it.
Somebody let you go in a hurry then, didn't they?
You wanna get over
Well,
here and sit?
Well, you
I'll
had to
sit
get
down.
you had to get every weed.
I said, you wanna get over here and sit?
Sit on the outside.
Lefty,
Dan,
Hollis,
Dan
the old
Hollis.
house is not there anymore, is it?
Oh, your Harold's son.
How far
How
north?
about that? How about
Before you
that?
go back
I know
east.
him a long, long time.
1 mile,
Long time.
1 mile north, and does that road go back across the
52,
railroad
actually.
tracks?
I'm crashing.
Then it's back.
I'm
Okay,
crashing
that's all
today.
Oh,
But I told her to come back.
No road back there now?
I'm crashing today.
Who was that lived across the, when you go that mile east there, go north a mile, and then you go east, and right across the railroad tracks, there's a white house sitting here? Who was it?
Edmondson,
Edmondson's.
Okay,
Shirley.
Mr. Miss Terry lived
she's still in
out there
town.
too.
Paul,
All Edmondson's still in Jonesboro.
no,
Paul's
Paul's gone. Shirley's still,
Oh, Shirley, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, didn't Dorothy's mother and dad live, Mr. and Miss Terry, just across that bridge, the big white house?
Doris Jean Miller,
No, Dorothy and Terry.
oh, Doris Jean Terry.
Dorothy,
Where are you talking about now?
past the dress factory, you go down and across that bridge.
No, that's not where they're talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong.
You're not talking about Asher's Lane, are you?
No,
No. Oh, you do remember Caraway, don't you?
You never heard my joke?
But I know, I've heard of Asher's Lane.
Where is Asher's Lane? What have I missed? Asher's Lane?
I didn't know where it was, Grace, and I told you somebody lived on Old Robin, and I
Yeah.
told Little, and he said,
Come on,
what?
Harold,
I
tell
don't know
me.
that.
it couldn't keep up with
I
you.
said,
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
all
know.
right.
That was the Romance Road.
Oh, Romance Road.
Well, you know, when we had our first reunion in '86, Lefty was working on it, and he's calling me all the time, and I was kinda helping him with it. And he asked me if I'd kinda run the meeting, you know, get the introductions and all this stuff and everything. So I told him, yeah, I would. So I told some bunch of stories. I didn't tell this particular story at that meeting, but I told it at one later. Bunch of stories, and everybody just thought I was pretty dadgum funny, you know, they was just rolling in the aisles. And Miss Joyce, they sent me an email the other day and wanted to know what the connection was between Miss Joyce and me. And I said, well, she was at that reunion, and I said, ever since that reunion, when we have another one, she comes to me and she says, as a matter of fact, she sat right in here the last time and said, Joe, are you gonna tell some of your stories? But anyhow, I told you that to tell you this. One of the stories I told was, I was really telling on myself about how dumb I was and how naive I was when I left Caraway, Arkansas. You know, I didn't know what street I lived on. Do you know what, any of y'all know what street you lived on? Well, we got a
I
name
know
up there.
what street I live on.
Well, now you
Well, they got a
have.
name
But
up
you
there
South
now,
Country
but
did.
they probably even got a number, but we didn't. But anyhow, I got out of the Navy, I went over to Memphis State College to start college over there. So I told this person, I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I said, I don't know what subjects I'm supposed to take or anything. He said, well, don't you have a counselor? And I said, no, I don't have. He said, well, you gotta go get a counselor. He said, the counselor will help you pick out your subjects. And I said, okay. So I got my counselor and we started in, and she said, well, now you have to take English. I said, this is English such and such. She said, okay, you gotta take that, and you gotta take math, you gotta take this math and such. She named another one, and then she said, chemistry, said, did y'all have chemistry at your school? And I said, oh, yes, ma'am. I said, we had lots of chemistry at our school. I said, you could go out on Asher's Lane any day.